We're truly delighted to have you here this afternoon. And bringing welcome remarks is none other than our Madam President.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honourable Philip E. Davis. Mr. Prime Minister, you have sounded the alarm across the globe on this urgent need for action on climate change, and BTVI has joined forces with you without reservation, sir. Welcome to BTVI. Minister of Education, always a pleasure to have you back. Technical and vocational training, Honourable Glenys Hanna-Martin. Minister of Energy and Transport, the Honourable Jobeth Coleby-Davis. Pleasure to have you with us today. Honourable, I'm always have to look in the crowd. Senior government officials, we know we invited several ministers. Okay, so I haven't neglected to mention you, whether you're here present or joining via Facebook, but via Facebook feed, courtesy of our own BTVI media technology team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Led by students. Led by students, Madam. Led by students. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, Ms. Lorraine Ambrister, other senior members. I'm sure I was just about to say, you know how to come on cue. Deputy PS, Ms. Keisha Ambastian, person with responsibility for career and technical. Director of Education, Madam Dominique McCartney-Russell. Representative of the International Development Bank, welcome, 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 and colleagues joining with her. Chairman of the BTVI board, Mr. Elvin Taylor, and board directors not only present here, but watching us virtually. Former BTVI board chairman and consultant on this initiative, Mr. Kevin Baisden. Manager of the Nova Scotia Community College International, Zoran Kaloli. I know we were expecting Executive Director of the Life at Key Foundation, but I'm sure she's watching us virtually, as well as other industry partners and donors. I know Dr. Brenda Clare was supposed to have been here. If she's not, I recognize. There she is. Okay, my good friend and colleague from another place. National Coordinator of the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program. I think I did glimpse him, Dion Stewart. If he's not, I'm sure he's watching us virtually. Other industry partners, the Bahamas Power and Light, the Bahamian Contractors Association representatives. I think I may have glimpsed the Reverend Perry Cunningham, President of the Bahamas Association of Independent Secondary Schools. I know I saw Pia Farmer of Easy Car and several other industry partners anticipated in the renewable space, all of whom are critical to BTVI achieving its mandate. Members of the BTVI's executives, my colleague executive, I see Madam AVP from Northern Bahamas with responsibility for Family Islands, Ms. Zakia Winder, AVP, Administrative Services, and our CFO, Charlene Hilton. I see two of my deans in the corner there, heads of department, staff, and faculty joining us virtually. I see a couple of persons I'm going to note just before we are done with this brief remarks. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, how did I do?
Excellent.
Okay. With the increasing environmental concerns and mounting energy needs, we at BTVI, with the funding provided by the Ministry of Finance in conjunction with the EU and IDB, are tapping into alternate energy with the launch of this training program. Our initial focus is on the installation and maintenance of solar PV systems, but we will not stop there. We will not stop there. Ours is a vision that will emerge from our small, and I underscore small, for now, renewable energy block right in the middle of main campus here. But we have a footprint in Grand Bahama, Andros, Eleuthera, Exuma, and we will be going beyond. Imagine, Mr. Prime Minister, the BTVI footprint has been established, and we want to extend our reach one solar panel at a time. There's no doubt that solar energy is a source for the future, and BTVI is joining the Go Green. Minister, that's why I have on the green. Go Green initiative by offering its solar energy training, which we believe will contribute significantly to the skilled labor force that is imperative to the renewable energy sector. The beauty of this all is that the training, which will be engaged in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance, EU, and IDB, will be leveraged through a and there are 4, get this now, this is important, this is not lost, 4 male instructors and 4 female instructors. 2 of them are from Grand Bahama, 1 from Abaco, and they are primed and ready to go. The rest are from New York. Well, I guess we have another one. I couldn't say that, Philip. Let me just take a minute to recognize those 5 who are here, although I see maybe 4. Please stand. Please stand. Please stand. All right, we have 3 of them here. Mr. Mika Saunders, Philip Williams, and Leonard Ardley. They've already had their initial face-to-face. The others are joining us via Facebook feed in Abaco and Grand Bahama. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that those who will become the trainers will be in demand, but they're not going anywhere. They owe us something when this is finished. We will have at the end of it 25 skilled technicians in the space. 25 minimum. But that's round 1, I understand, Prime Minister. I understand that that is round 1, and so we're so excited about the possibilities. BTVI believes in being on the cutting edge, and so we are fully embracing this solar initiative, the wave of the future. We recognize that without it, we are going to have some serious issues in this country. BTVI's thrust, therefore, is in line with that of the government of the Bahamas, which seeks to accelerate its transition to clean energy. We are prepared and doing something to join in the fight to reduce, Prime Minister, our carbon footprint, while fully establishing a renewable green pillar, which is so critical to any reputable TVET institution. We at BTVI are a part of this green mission. We are poised to do our part to meet the mandate as set out by the government by 2023. BTVI on this red letter day, not only for BTVI, but for the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, for those brief remarks. Just so that you know, we thought she'd wear the green and I'd wear the yellow to reflect solar sunlight.
Yes, yes, yes.
And moving right along, we have present with us representing the Financial Secretary who sends his apologies, but he wishes for everybody to know he stands behind this program 110%. There are 2 other persons I think we ought to make honorable mention of. And I speak of none other than Maru, the Chief Operating Officer at the IDB, who has been a pillar and a strength. And sitting to her immediate right is Mr. Roberto Ayello, the project team leader for this energy program. And Prime Minister, I tell you, this young man has been a tower of strength for the PEU and all that we are doing, and more he will be helping on, because he heard you when you pointed me out and say, when can I put the shovel in the ground? And I'm glad he heard that, because that rests on him. So Prime Minister, without further ado, we'll call on Mr. Zoran Kadali. Oh, the chairman? Yeah, chairman. You want chairman go first? Oh, okay. Yes. Following the chairman, Ms. Zoran Kadali would bring remarks.
Thank you, sir. With protocol already established, good afternoon, everyone. A special welcome to you, Honourable Prime Minister, and Ministers Hanna-Martin and Coleby, P.S. Ambrister, directors. We are grateful for your presence. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to be here as chairman of BTVI board at such an important time in our country's history. Indeed, this is a very important day for BTVI, technical and vocational education, and our country as a whole. Today's launch of BTVI's training for the installation and maintenance of solar PV system is yet another important thrust to nationally advanced technical and vocational education. This means BTVI is waving a network of satellite campuses across our chain of islands, including deliberately and intentionally. The board members and I are convinced that this training is a window of opportunity to have a transformative impact on an industry which is crucial in producing clean energy, an industry that will reduce our carbon footprint while producing more skilled workers, resulting in economic empowerment. Indeed, this is but an example of the power of trades education. In my view, the Bahamas will never realize its full potential. And I say that again. The Bahamas will never realize its full potential unless and until BTVI realizes its full potential. As we change the narrative on trade education, BTVI is transforming before your eyes. The BTVI of yesterday is no more. BTVI is evolving into a powerful national tool which we truly believe will impact more and more lives and improve the life chances of the 70% or more school leavers each year who are looking to ignite their passions through a trade. We are convinced that the resources and the will are there, and that we will realize our full potential with the help of each of you and every one of you who are here in this room and watching virtually. On behalf of BTVI, Board of Directors, executives, and senior management, staff, faculty, students, and alumni, thank you to the Government of the Bahamas by way of the Ministry of Finance, the European Union, and the Inter-American Development Bank for this investment. With your help today and in the immediate future, as we consider the establishment of a master campus, which will be another feather in BTVI's cap, we seek to close the skill gap and fuel national growth. Thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister, as I looked at my phone just now, I received a message to say the Cooperstown microgrid project for the Cooperstown Medical Clinic, we will soon receive the report, the bank's non-objection for that, which would allow you to stick a shovel in the ground when we sign the contract on site. Without further ado, we call on Mr. Zoran Ondali, Nova Scotia Community College.
Mr. Prime Minister, other honorable guests, It is a pleasure on behalf of Nova Scotia Community College to participate in this event, but also to partner with the Prime Minister's office, other stakeholders, and BTVI on this important project. And we are honored to have the privilege of working with BTVI on this. As Dr. Davis pointed out, the training has already started 2 weeks ago, virtually. And then last week we had the first in-person training. And I have to say that this exciting project is off to a very productive and interesting start. And thank you, Dr. Davis, for your leadership and your team for your leadership on this. But we were so impressed with the instructors and during the in-person training. Their passion, their enthusiasm, their commitment. I think this will be a fantastic, fantastic program which will result in really relevant short courses and will set the foundation for renewable energy in the Bahamas. So thank you very much.
As we call Madam Representative, Mrs. Daniela Marquis, to the podium, or to the speaker, just let's say when you see her, she represents all the money that we need. And she is going to make sure that we receive that non-objection for Cooperstown and some other matters.
Having protocol being established, good afternoon. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, Prime Minister. We are really, really very happy about being here. So I do have to spend a little bit of time because I want to make sure that I do share with all of you how important this event is for us. The launch of the training for installation and maintenance for solar photovoltaic generation systems and the workshop for educators and senior high students for solar photovoltaic generation system organized by BTVI and the Nova Scotia Community College is really one of the most important things that we are accomplishing. Not the only one, but one of the most important. This is about having job creation, having diversity in the economy, having building resilience. And the Prime Minister, you always speak about resilience, climate change, energy transition. And for us, you have to have the resilience not only in the sector itself and energy and what it trickles down, but also on the people and obviously on the fiscal side. So all of that is part of that transition, and we are very happy to be here, always celebrating this launch of this, and I think it's going to be one of many. No, you all know very well the history of BTVI and the importance it has of its role in the Bahamas. So for us being here, being part of this, also working together, obviously, and it was, I think, mentioned by Marco that this is a project that we are doing in coordination with the EU that has provided grant funding for this activity. It is of extreme happiness because this, if I understood correctly, is going to benefit between 65 and 70 people over the next 12 months. That's real change. That's real development. So I congratulate you all for this. Let me just briefly highlight 3 things that I think are very important. The first one, I just said it, is about the job generation potential. The deployment of renewable energy is also about creating jobs and building resilience to the economy. And we are happy to be here to see how we foster more jobs for developers, installers, engineers, maintenance, and this is very important that it happens not only in New Providence, but also in the Family Islands. We have an estimate that about 40 million people in the world are working right now on renewable energy, and that number keeps increasing. So it is time that Bahamians are able to benefit from that field of work. And so while we all talk about energy transition, and sometimes energy transition has distorted impacts on different industries, we have to highlight the positives, and this is one of the positives, and it's a very important one. The second one is, this is about not only bringing capacity, but also building for the future. This is about how you bring the science and the technology and the looking for the boys and girls, and then to young people to work on areas that maybe today they didn't thought about. So it is important that we build this environment that makes it that we can flourish on the renewable energy in the Bahamas. And the third one is it relates to the broader initiative on the energy sector. Some of you are aware we have a program right now that is on reconstruction and resiliency on the energy sector in the Bahamas. And we have been supporting the government on this objective of building resilience through the energy transition. But we need to do a lot more. We need to do a lot more, and we need to accelerate how we do it. So I do want to congratulate you on the formation of the Ministry of Energy. I want to congratulate Minister Coleby-Davis for her leadership on this area. We are really looking forward to working with you as we have additional resources that will come to the Bahamas so that we can further develop our agenda on energy transition. So very glad to be here. Thank you so much for the confidence of working with the IDB, and congratulations you all.
As we bring on the young, dynamic Minister for Energy and Transport, I just want to say that Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hanna-Martin, has given us the go-ahead to begin the process for the commissioning of the 3 schools that have already been solarized: CV Bethel, CI Gibson, and TV Bethel. And so we're putting on notice the PS, the director, because Elise will be talking with you shortly. Again, it's my pleasure to bring on our Honourable Jobeth Coleby-Davis, our young, dynamic Minister for Energy and Transport. Minister.
Thank you very much, PS Marco Roll, and good afternoon, everyone. I will accept the protocol that has been established, but I do want to recognize the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, and also my minister colleague, Minister of Education, Glenys Hanna-Martin. Today is a great honor to stand before you as the launch of this new initiative with BTVI to increase the accessibility and affordability of solar systems throughout our country. The objective of the BTVI consultancy is to implement the training that will develop local skills for services related to solar PV generation systems. In doing so, it will foster participation of women and persons with disabilities, which I think is very important to the advancement of our society. There will also be an education component, as we know, that education is critical for longer-term change, a change that we see is fast-paced in our country at present due to the ongoing discussions with our Prime Minister as he speaks to our challenges that we've been faced with based on our proximity and also being a small island developing state and not having access to the necessary funds we need to put in resilient infrastructure. This education is important also for our people to understand, to appreciate, and to buy in to the complexities surrounding the need to transition to renewable energy and also cleaner energy fuel that supports affordability, reliability, and it also lower our GHG emissions, and so very important. This will also promote the inclusion of renewable energy in the country, and I think it's important to speak to the fact that this is coming on the heel of us launching from the Ministry of Energy and Transport a request for proposal, I think it was in November of last year, for our family islands to produce hybrid microgrids that incorporates 30% renewable systems. And we've just launched today a request for proposal for New Providence that is just focused entirely on renewable systems along with battery storage systems. And so, thank you. We are excited for the partnership, the leadership with IDB partnering with Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Education, and also to have BTVI be a part of this movement, because it is important for us to have our people ready, trained, and knowledgeable in this sector, because it is clear that the government has fully advanced its transition and energy transformation. And so to be well ready for our people to be a part of the, not only the knowledge transfer, but also the jobs, and being also a part of our maintenance and operation program of our solar systems is important, so that it doesn't seem as if they're also always outside of what the government is doing. And as the government is advancing its agenda, we're thinking about how we have our people ready and able to be a part of this sector. So once again, I congratulate BTVI and all other ministries partnering in this program. The overarching objective of the Resilience and Energy Sector in the Bahamas program is to rehabilitate critical energy infrastructure, restore electricity services in the islands heavily impacted by Hurricane Dorian, and integrate renewable energy into our national grid. The specific objectives are to support rehabilitation, promote adoption of solar photovoltaic technologies in the Family Island, and contribute to the improvement of the regulatory framework for renewable energy technologies. I want to acknowledge and thank the IDB for their unwavering support and the amount of times they provided the necessary funding that we needed to advance these sort of forward-thinking and modern programs to continue to keep us on par and in trend with global international sectors. And so I thank them once again. And so today, the launch is very important because it's a celebration of a milestone in the wider energy transformation agenda, and it's a testament to our commitment to creating a resilient and sustainable future for the Bahamas. As we embark on this journey, let us collectively embrace this opportunity to contribute to the larger vision of a brighter and more sustainable Bahamas. I thank you very much, and let the next chapter begin.
As I call on our next speaker, I just want to whisper to Minister Jobeth Coleby-Davis that I am advised that the training for this program has already commenced for the trainers, and that recruitment begins immediately, and that the program itself is launched in April. So that's right down the road, ma'am. It's my pleasure to introduce someone who really needs no introduction. You here would have followed her. She has distinguished herself in all of the ministries she's headed, and she continues to be a trailblazer. Without more, my pleasure. And the Honourable Minister will introduce the Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, P.S. Roll, and good evening, good afternoon to everyone. And we are very proud that the Prime Minister is able to come to the campus, and he will do a tour afterwards to see the work that BTVI is engaging in. And what we are talking about today is just another significant paradigm in the various offerings that's now manifesting at this institution. It's also an institution that is gearing up for accreditation, and the work is well underway. And so we believe that BTVI is going to be the centerpiece of our national development, as we would have heard previously. And in that regard, there's a very strong relationship between BTVI and the Ministry of Education. And we have a project, I just went to the site on my way here, where we are developing a polytechnic for high school students in technical studies, which we hope and pray we can open the doors in September. And we will have a very strong relationship with BTVI, and we believe that solar energy will be one of the offerings at the high school level, and certification. You know, there have been so many studies that talk about the skills gap in the Bahamas. We've been hearing it for 10, 15 years. And what I appreciate, but what we are seeing as we speak, is the determination that we as a people are going to do what is necessary to ensure that our people do not fall behind or fall between the cracks of national development. And a great patriot that I once knew pretty well used to always say, we must build this country with our own hands. Of course, we're doing it with the help of IDB, the European Union, and Nova Scotia Community College and other stakeholders. But it is the determination to shape policy and to be able to create a reality for our people that allows us to coexist with other nation states in a way in which we are able to be not just viable, but highly successful. The issue of energy is at the core of everything, every single thing in the economy, in the professions, in all aspects, it's at the center. And rationalizing what we are seeing now globally is critical to our thriving as a people, including cost of energy, and we see all of the global disputes all over the way and how that affects the cost of oil, crude oil, et cetera. And so it is important that we as a people are making determinations that we are going to create pathways for energy that allows us to continue to move forward without obstacles. Solar energy is critical in this regard. I want to thank the Ministry of Finance, also the Office of the Prime Minister, Ministry of Energy and Transport for the collaboration. This is multiple, not silos, but multiple components that have led to what we are celebrating here today. And so I thank all of them. BTVI is going to assist us in taking young people forward and allowing those who are technically inclined to provide a legitimate, respectable, and thriving pathway for the development of young people in this country. And this is a major thrust of the government. We see the maritime representative here, Dr. Claire. That's another component of the entire spectrum of technical and vocational. So this is a big day. This is capacity. We're training trainers. The trainers will train other persons, and this will mushroom and grow and become the new, the word again, paradigm in this country. So we are very, very proud that we have made a determination to take the bull by the horns and to take the Bahamian people forward in this way. I thank all the stakeholders. I'm excited, and I believe that, as the President said, the best is yet to come. Thank you so much. Oh. Speaking of the best being yet to come, a good segue. It is, well, we've all heard the positioning of the Prime Minister here in the Bahamas and internationally. And in fact, the discussion of climate change really, I think he really has done more than anyone else that we have seen in recent times in this nation. He has centered the argument and made the connection between this abstract thing of energy and Hurricane Dorian and people dying and the unlivability of certain places. He talks about climate refugees. So he has set a precedent in this country in raising the awareness for our people in the light of all of the issues that we face, this being a compelling one. And what we are seeing today is his passion, and we thank him for it. We thank him for taking the bull by the horns. And I would wish you to join with me in welcoming the Prime Minister to the podium. Please stand.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. I too adopt the protocol that was ably established by Madam President. I just say good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
It is wonderful to be here with all of you. You know, the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute has in so many ways played an important role in shaping progress, not just for the individual participants, but for our economy and for our country. And so it is today, as we embark on an ambitious program of energy reforms, transforming our nation's outdated, expensive energy systems into cleaner, more modern, more affordable, and more reliable systems. BTVI will play a central and important role. As I have said in many contexts, we are here to change the status quo, not defend it. And I know BTVI is ready to be a part of the big changes we need for shared progress and a more inclusive economy. I'm also guessing that many of you not only agree with me, but agree passionately that energy is an area long overdue for transformation.
Yes.
For far too long, high prices and unreliability have hurt Bahamian families and businesses, undermining our progress and our prosperity. The exciting thing about energy reform is that along the substantial benefits that go along with creating cleaner, more affordable, and more reliable energy, we can also create significant new opportunities for Bahamians. So here's the overall landscape. Early this morning, we launched a request for proposal for up to 100 megawatts of solar in New Providence, an important component of our larger package of energy reforms and upgrades. Over the past 2 years, with the inception of the Reconstruction with Resilience Energy Project, the Ministry of Finance has completed phase 1 of the New Providence Solar Photovoltaic rooftop projects, including the solarization of 3 local schools. Phase 2, which is underway, will be more extensive. The team is also in the process of completing the installation of solar power generation systems for the Cooperstown Medical Clinic and the hospital and the government clinic complex in Marsh Harbor. Also well underway are the rooftop-mounted solar power generation system at the University of the Bahamas and the University Clean Energy Lab, which will become an incubator and teaching facility for renewable energy innovations. We have also secured a significant approval in principle from the Inter-American Development Bank, as you would have heard, for a pilot project in Meguana, or Michael. This project will rely on the innovative ethos technology, which can be easily installed and requires significantly less land space than the traditional ground-mounted systems. This technology will enable us to roll out a more affordable alternative energy solution for our family of islands. The Ministry of Finance, in conjunction with Bahamas Power and Light BPL, are also working towards major upgrades in Abaco, including the installation of a new underground cable to replace the existing cable in Leisure Lee, and the installation of new cables at the government complex in Marsh Harbor, as well as between Murphytown and Guana Key. We're also looking to purchase and install a new transformer for the old power substation. All of these in an effort to, as you would have heard, lower our carbon footprints. Funds from the IDB loan will be used to allocate $14.7 million for the completion of a 25 megawatt battery energy storage system at the Blue Hills Power Station. This state-of-the-art facility will be a standout within the region and will provide an estimated $43 million in potential savings in fuel costs that will be passed on directly to households in New Providence. In addition, preparation for the installation of microgrids in the 5 settlements in East Grand Bahama are underway. Thanks to our focus on renewable energy, government facilities throughout the nation will be solarized, and we will deliver clean, stable, affordable energy on multiple islands throughout the Bahamas. And you would have heard about Maguana, you have Abaco, Grand Bahama, and New Providence. Let me add Cat Island. Technology and innovations, however, are not sustainable without the capacity to maintain them. Fortunately, with these projects comes opportunities for Bahamians to acquire new skills in emerging future-oriented sectors. So today I'm proud to witness the implementation of yet another aspect of my government's blueprint for change, repositioning and re-energizing BTVI as a regional leader in training and creating new opportunities for Bahamians within the green economy. I remain grateful to our EU partners with whom we signed an agreement in March 2022 for supporting the training program with a grant of $9 million. We are facing very significant challenges of operating in the context of a turbulent global economy, changing geopolitics, and very significant risks associated with a rapidly changing climate. There's no question this is a difficult landscape to navigate, but we also see many opportunities to be strategic and to create new opportunities for our people. BTVI's new and improved renewable energy program will encompass training in the installation and maintenance of solar photovoltaic generation systems and other related services, measures for supporting industries within the solar renewable energy industry, as well as further support for staff and students, including a pilot for persons with disabilities and a workshop for teachers and students to expose them to careers in renewable energy. The program is inclusive of skills, abilities, and backgrounds, with men and women who will come from Maicao, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Cat Island, New Providence, of course. It represents an innovative approach to learning, featuring hybrid classes and collaboration with multiple partners, including Nova Scotia Community College in Canada, to which we thank you for your partnership. And of course, we're going to include private sector internship partners. The government is taking significant steps toward delivering on its promises for reliable, resilient, and affordable energy, while creating opportunities for our citizens. I'm so proud of the work done by the leadership team here at BTVI to make this program a possibility. Congratulations on taking this big and important step forward. And of course, it is an important step for me, because as I, on the world stage, speak about climate change and its consequences and how we are most vulnerable, and they're not listening or they're not moving as quickly as I think they should. I often say they talk and not act. So I want to show them that we are not only talking, but we are acting. And this step demonstrates that. And so I just say, may God bless the many Bahamians across our country who will carry forward these important energy reforms, and may continue to bless all of us and the entire Commonwealth of Bahamas. Thank you.
And Mr. Prime Minister, as we're about to call our lead electrical engineer, Mr. Alden Austin, to the podium, let me say that the bank has heard you loud and clear with respect to my call. Let me also say that Prime Minister, the bank recently granted us approval in principle for a new technology style as Ertos technology. Yes, sir, Ertos. That will take us into a new paradigm But we have to be sure, though, notwithstanding the fact that it's new, we have to have some Bahamians providing some geotechnical services. But that's going to transform the entire landscape, and we will deliver on my call. That's a $6-something million, sir. And the bank has heard you. Without further ado, Mr. Alden Austin. Oh, can I leave this there? Oh, absolutely. Maybe solarize the police station and Clinic Place.
I break it. I'll hold it though. Yeah, I couldn't get it, that's it. Standing on the protocol has already been established. Let me give my heartfelt appreciation to all those who've contributed to making this afternoon a success. I have some particular individuals I'd like to point out, primarily starting out with the EU for giving us this grant. Thank you. Next, Mr. Roberto Aiello. To you too and your team, thank you for your efforts in getting us to this finish line here today. Very much appreciated. All right. Next, Mr. Lancy and the PEU team, particularly my Pacific team. Mr. Lancy, absolutely.
Eddie, your stand, let them see you, please. Ryan, your stand.
Sorry. So this is a PEU team. It's a PEU team. Over here as well. All right. That's the team. And so Mr. Lancy, she is one of the tireless person who went to see this way all the way through, so I have to give her a shout out. Next, Miss Davis. President, you were tireless with Mr. Lancy. You took the charge and you took the bill and you ran with that. So pretty much thank you guys for that, and you have with your team as well. And finally, to everybody else, Mr. Camacho, how are you? Well, I thank you as well, my friend, okay? And so finally, I'd like to convey my gratitude to everyone here for taking the time to join us and assisting us in making this afternoon a great success. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But we have to make honorable mention of Mr. Marcos Camacho. He has been a key architect and supporter through the services of the IDB, Robert Aiello, in helping us get where we are. With that being said, we thank you.